Hi, Futures class. I wanted to give you an example for what we're going to be doing with our genogram. There's a couple other videos and websites I want you to read first, and this is going to be more on how on earth you navigate this screen and put things in that are specific to your family. I'm going to switch screens really quick. So this is what you're going to start out with. This is the My Genogram project on the Google Slides. And so you are just going to copy in here. You're going to input different names. So you may actually need to have some conversations with your family to see what names of people are in your family. And you're also welcome to add or subtract some of these. So if you're not sure who some of these people are, you can put a question mark. That is okay. If you want to add cousins and uncles and aunts because they're important to you, that is okay too. It's just going to take maybe a little bit more work. So I wanted to try to go 3 generations back. So this would be your generation right here. The middle generation are your parents, and then your grandparents. So maternal would be mother's side, paternal would be father's side. And again, everybody's family unit is different. So some of you may come from a single parent household, and you may not know much about your father's side of the family, or vice versa, where you don't know your mother's side of the family very well. So that is okay. You can exclude those and then maybe add in some more aunts and uncles so that we can kind of see what your family tree looks like. So I'm going to switch screens again, and I'm going to show you my genogram. And so this is mine, and this is very simple. It looks really confusing, but I'm going to walk you through it really quick. So we're going to look for me. So I just put me right here. And you know what? I'm actually even going to make this bigger so it's easier to see. And then we'll go back down and I'll show you how to add and subtract different boxes. Okay, so these are my siblings down here. So this line is my brother, my sister, my twin brother, and me. And the way that we signify that is we have my parents here. So my Jeff is my dad, Christy is my mom, and they had kids, which are my siblings. Since I have a twin brother, this is what this symbol looks like. We are fraternal twins, so we made just a triangle, but if we were identical, there would be another line right here. So I don't know if any of you guys are twins, so you might not have to worry about that. Otherwise, it would just be one line down, and then this would be a horizontal line with all of our names on it. Okay? Just like in the example. So I had to change stuff up a little bit. My parents are also divorced, so I put a double slash. I decided for a double slash because there's a lot of lines, and I wanted to make sure you could see that was there, and it wasn't just like a mistake, because as you can tell, not all of my lines went in straight, and I simply just couldn't fix it. For whatever reason, it would not let me do some of these as straight lines. So I put a double slash. My parents are no longer together. They separated when I was in middle school, and then they have been remarried. So this is my father's new wife, Amy, and they don't have kids, so there's no other ones over here. If they had kids, then there would be another set of kids right here between them. And then my mom also got remarried, and so John is over here. They did not have kids, so there are no additional kids. So I don't have any step siblings, but that is a fairly common thing. So that's how you would signify that, is you would drop that down right here. Then up to my grandparents on my mom's side, we have Lila, and my grandpa just passed away in the last year. So to signify that somebody has passed away, we just put an X through it. Sometimes we would even put their ages or the year that they passed away, but we don't need to worry about that right now. We're just going to keep it nice and simple. And then I actually need to add a double slash here. My grandparents were divorced before I was ever born. And when I was, I think, 4, my grandpa remarried to Nancy. So I got an extra set of grandparents out of the deal. And then over here is my dad's side. So his mom, she is still living. I think she is 96 this year. And then my grandpa passed away about 25 years ago. So he has an X through his name to signify that he's no longer with us. And then none of you are going to have this because you're only in 8th grade. But I decided to add my current family. So my wife Heather is right here. And we have one son, and it's Arlo. So that's where he goes. And in the next couple months, we're going to have one more. And so I will add another box. Square signifies male, circle signifies female. Okay? So that is pretty simple on how it works. Your other videos are going to walk through it much quicker. But I also want to show you how on earth you are going to add new people. So I'm usually using these two right here. So I'm going to add another line. As I said, my grandparents divorced, so I'm going to put a line. See how it's kind of dragging that line? So sometimes it is just really hard to get these in here because we run out of space. So I'm going to add 2 lines right here as they were divorced. Okay? If you want to add, say you have step siblings, if you do something like this, you drop down a line, then maybe there's 2 of them. You drop a horizontal line. Okay, and then this is where we got the shapes. So the squares, I use this one. The circles, I use this one. Okay, and then I simply would draw a box here and write the name. And then we would do, let's say there was a girl. Okay, and then that would go right here. And these things can actually get really huge. You can add all of your aunts and uncles. So like right here, I would add a line that would have my dad. And then over here, I would have my aunts and uncles. I think he has 5 siblings, so that could get really messy. Then you could add cousins and nieces and nephews and second cousins. And so there's just simply not enough space to do it on here. So we're keeping it pretty simple. And then if you have on the template, so we'll go back here. If you have this template, okay, and you're like, well, there's not 4 of us, that's okay. Simply delete the box. Just, well, I was going to say just like that, and then it didn't work. Okay, so I'll just cut the box, and it disappears. And you can add and subtract. You'll want to do circles for females and squares for males. And so you're really just going to use like the delete key if you don't need some of these. You are going to use this line tool to insert lines in between, and you are going to use the shape tool to create the boxes. And for the deceased family members, and this could be any family member, it's not going to just be grandparents. It could be a sibling you've lost, or even a parent. And so you would just make an X through it, okay? And I decided I like the way that it looked a little bit better on a black background. You guys can leave it white. You can change it. As long as I can see those lines, I really don't mind what you do with the background. Just make sure that it's clear. And if you want to get really creative, you can start changing the colors of these boxes and shapes, and you can add more to it. And for whatever reason, if this does not work for you, if you just don't get it and it's not working, please let me know. We're going to have the Zoom meeting. Hopefully that helps. We can schedule another Zoom meeting if you want, and I can kind of walk you through each step, and we can share screens and stuff like that. So I know it might be a little bit confusing, but I use this tool a lot for counseling because it's so important to know where we come from and how our family influences who we are. So it's a fun project, but this one might be a little bit more work than some of our other assignments. So reach out if you need to. All right. We'll see you later.